Old Hollywood had the big five: Warner Bros., Paramount, Universal, Disney, Fox. They owned everything: the production, the distribution, even the theaters. And then that system collapsed. Now the internet is the new studio system with its very own big five. But the real question isn't just who they are, it's whether they could even hold the throne. Part 1, the old big five. Picture Hollywood in the 1930s. The studios weren't just making movies. They owned the cameras, the sound stages, the actors, the theaters. That's vertical integration. Production, distribution, and exhibition all under one roof. If you wanted to see a movie, you walked into a studio-owned theater. If you wanted to be a star, you signed your soul away on a studio contract. And if you wanted to compete, you didn't, because the Big Five had locked the doors and swallowed the keys. This grip was so strong it triggered the government. The Paramount Decree of 1948 forced studios to sell their theaters, broke the monopoly, and ended the golden cage of vertical integration. It was proof of a brutal truth. Even giants fall when the ground shifts. Part 2, the new Big Five. Fast forward to today, the silver screen has all been but replaced by the glass screen in your hand. And just like the old days, 5 players dominate the show: YouTube, TikTok, Netflix, Meta, Apple. Together, they've built the new studio system. But instead of sound stages and theaters, they own distribution pipes, recommendation engines, and app stores. Let's break it down. YouTube isn't just a website. It's the largest distribution pipeline in history, a global theater that never closes. Billions of people walk in every day, and the talent pipeline is endless. Creators are today's contract players, but instead of a salary, they're paid in views, ads, and a cut of the revenue. TikTok. TikTok mastered attention. Its feed is the new box office. The algorithm is the new casting director. And just like the studios once groomed stars, TikTok manufactures influencers, testing, scaling, and discarding at speed. Netflix. Netflix plays the old studio role the closest. They finance, produce, distribute, and own the IP. They don't just get the talent, they get the whole franchise. Meta. Meta isn't just a social network. It's an empire of eyeballs. Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp. That's distribution on a planetary scale almost. And with VR and AR, Meta is betting on owning not just what you watch, but the environment you exist in. And then there's Apple. They're not really chasing virality. They're locking down the theater itself. The devices, the app store, the operating system. If YouTube is the new Warner Brothers, then Apple's like the landlord who owns every cinema in town. This is the internet's big five. Different tools, same playbook. Controlled distribution, controlled talent, controlled money. Part 3, the rising competitors. But here's where the story gets interesting. Because unlike the old days, the internet's big five aren't unchallenged. There are rivals already punching through the cracks. Amazon. Amazon, on one side, Prime Video, competing head-on with Netflix for global streaming dominance. On the other, Twitch, the digital coliseum of live stream entertainment. That's not just competition. That's Amazon playing both Hollywood and ESPN at once. Speaking of ESPN, Disney Plus and Warner Brothers. The old titans aren't dead. They've reinvented themselves, clawing back the IP that Netflix once rented from them. They may not own distribution pipes like YouTube, but they own stories that have lived in our heads for generations. And story is the one currency that platforms just can't fabricate. At least, I hope they can. Epic Games. This one's stealthier. Fortnite isn't just a game, it's a metaverse hub. Concerts, movies, IP collaborations, and with Unreal Engine, Epic isn't just making content. They're handing out the cameras, the sound stages, the virtual backlots. That's a new kind of studio system. Tools plus distribution plus culture. Then there's ByteDance, beyond just TikTok. They have CapCut, they have Lemonade, and they have experiments in AI video creation. They're building more than an app. They're building a creative operating system. That's not a platform, that's a factory. And let's not forget AI-driven studios. Runway, OpenAI, Sora, 11 Labs. These aren't just tools. They're the seedlings of a new ecosystem. Imagine if the next, quote, studio doesn't cast actors but generates them, doesn't rent cameras but fabricates worlds out of prompts. The rising competitors aren't future threats. They're present realities, and they're proof that the new Big Five are already being hunted. Part 4, the fragility. Old Hollywood lasted decades before its cage cracked. The digital Big Five? Their empires rest on thinner ice. YouTube looks untouchable, but government regulation, AI disruption, or creator exodus could crack it. TikTok dominates attention, but one stroke of a pen, a ban, or restriction, and the whole empire wobbles. Netflix changed entertainment, but the second Disney, Warner, and Paramount pulled their catalogs, Netflix had to spend billions just to stay alive. Meta has reach, but it's a reach people don't always trust. And in the attention economy, mistrust is erosion. And Apple, the most powerful gatekeeper of all, is already under fire for its App Store practices, the exact same kind of antitrust heat that ended the old studio system. Platforms look like kings, but kings can fall faster than we think. So, what does it all mean? Here's the play. If Hollywood's giants couldn't hold on to their grip forever, what makes us think the digital Big Five can? The real winners aren't the platforms. They're the players who know how to use them without depending on them. The cheat code is ownership. Own your IP, own your audience, own your ecosystem. And here's the thing most people miss. Owning IP isn't just about having an idea. It's about packaging it, turning your story, your show, your content into something that holds value outside the platform. That's why the smartest creators aren't just uploading videos, they're packaging their ideas like studios. Not just content, but assets. Platforms shift, algorithms change, rules get rewritten overnight. But if you've got direct connection, your own email list, your own community, your own brand, you're not building on quicksand, you're building on bedrock. So, the lesson isn't just who are today's Big Five. The lesson is stop renting your empire and start owning it. Old Hollywood learned the hard way. The Big Five couldn't keep their grip. The internet's Big Five are no different. They may look untouchable today, but the ground under them is already shifting. And this is just the beginning of the conversation, because the real play isn't just spotting who survives, it's learning how to package your own ideas, how to build your own ecosystem, and how to play like a studio without being chained to one. We're going deeper into that in future episodes, because this is only chapter 1. This is the business of play with Cassius Clay. Like, follow, and sub on LinkedIn and YouTube for more.